Hello folks, this is Carla and this time I'm here with a review for episode 9 of season 1 of Lucifer. This episode is titled A Priest Walks into a Bar, and can I just say that I love that title. I think this is a title that is a pun that actually works, unlike some of the ones we've had for this show previous. Anyway, I must say that I also really like the episode. It was better than I was expecting originally. I like the idea of Lucifer being confronted with his natural enemy, aka a priest. It was refreshing for a TV show that is basically humanizing the devil to actually also, speak positively about religion. I mean, it's good that they can see it from both sides in a way, and it's even good that Lucifer can learn a lesson or two from a religious person. As I've often said, I am very intrigued by just the whole mythology of the show, which in theory would be theology. I think this show, the premise of it is very original and can actually bring up a lot of interesting questions to ponder, and this is one of the questions that you would initially ponder, is that if Lucifer is the devil, does that mean he's completely bad? Does that mean he completely disagrees with the things that religion proclaims, I guess? And I like the way they'd handled it here, because Lucifer comes across more as a very hurt son rather than as someone who's evil, and I think that's fantastic. I mean, obviously he doesn't necessarily agree with most of the rules that the church kind of imposes on their followers, but just because he's the devil doesn't mean that he doesn't agree that people should do good. You know what I mean? So in that aspect, there are certain things that he does have in common with this priest and the church in general. It's like, if this person hasn't done anything bad, then there's no reason to punish them. And the church kind of agrees with that. It's just more he kind of disparages the church and religion in general out of principle, because his father knocked him down from heaven and basically forced him to be the lord of hell for all eternity until he decided to take a vacation, I guess. So he's kind of standing against it on principle, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't agree with a lot of the things that they say. And I think that's very interesting, that at the same time the church, or this priest in particular, was able to kind of give Lucifer some hope, almost. I mean, you could see it kind of in his eyes when he was listening to this guy speak, that he actually does feel hope, or feel some glimmer of hope that this might actually all be a plan of his father's, and that he just didn't knock him out of heaven just because he hated him. You know what I mean? It's like any other child who feels neglected or hurt by something their parents did. If he thinks that his father or mother or whoever it is did that for a good reason, it might imply that the relationship can still be mended somehow. There's a glimmer of hope there, and I saw that in Lucifer, and I really liked it. Of course, this being Lucifer, by the end he still wasn't convinced. He was still disparaging about God, that even people who follow his rules still don't get a good ending. And of course, the priest's death just goes to show that even good people sometimes end up badly. And Lucifer did raise the point that if God is so good, why does this happen? And this is something that's been brought up again and again in fiction and in real life, and it's a legitimate concern of people who don't abide to religion. So I like that. I like that this episode brought up a lot of questions. I would have liked to see the priest actually live, not just because I thought he was a good person, but just because I thought he would maybe do a lot of good for Lucifer. Because yes, he's going to therapy, but therapy is very Socratic in a way. It's like he has to find his own answers, and I think this priest could have given him a different perspective through which he could get to his answers. It's always good to have a different point of view, so I thought the priest could maybe have helped him with that. But I do understand the point they were trying to make, which was, like I said, the fact that even good people who believe in God have tragedy happen to them. Even people who do everything right and who really believe can die in a very gruesome way for doing the right thing. You know what I mean? So I get the point. And that's why I maybe give them a bit of leeway on that. The one thing I didn't like, though, was that it was the case itself was really, really obvious. It's like they didn't even bother trying to come up with a mystery this time around. As soon as that guy, whatever his name was, the spider, came up on his first appearance at the beginning of the episode, when they found that guy, he's like, yeah, I worked here, he was my boss, whatever. I'm like, yep, that's the killer. I hadn't even met that Connor kid or the girl who might have been his accomplice or anything. I hadn't even met them, and I already knew that guy was the killer. They weren't even subtle about it, okay? So that was just bad. I mean, I get it that the philosophical part of it was more important. And I like that because I like when Lucifer gets character development. I like that this helped his relationship with Chloe kind of define itself into a friendship. I liked it. I just think it was also kind of lazy and kind of stupid. Like I just mentioned, I really liked by the end how this kind of brought Lucifer and Chloe closer, and that they really can define at this point that they're friends. I really like that. I wonder where they're going from there. I really liked Chloe in this episode. She was really just sweet all around, which is something that we don't necessarily see from her all the time because she's always annoyed because she's dealing with Lucifer. But this time around, she was really sweet. And that last scene with the piano, she was just really adorable the way she was bobbing her head. And I really liked her in this episode. I adore Chloe. She's grown on me so much. I'm so glad that I still kept giving the show a chance, because even if I didn't like her at the beginning, I mean, I didn't dislike her. She just didn't really do anything for me. She's grown on me, and I really like her right now. Speaking of Chloe, though, there's the Dan thing, which I'm glad to see that, yes, Dan shot the dude. No, he didn't shoot it because he was crooked, or he was a dirty cop himself. No, the other dude was a dirty cop, and he knew that Chloe was there, and he knew that Chloe was in danger, and he shot him in order to help Chloe. I like that, because that way I can understand why he would do that. I like that they didn't go with the stereotypical, douchebag ex thing. I look forward to seeing how they have that talk, because, the kiss and stuff. So I guess maybe next episode we'll see that. I was very glad that they didn't go the obvious way with Dan, because I like him. And I like the idea that he's a good guy, even though he's the ex. You know what I mean? So I like that. The whole Amenadiel thing, though, I mean, I already kind of said that I would enjoy seeing the good, quote-unquote, good angel be the bad guy. I find it very interesting. I thought he was going to maybe do something to Chloe, actually. I thought that doing something to her that he might hope that it would inspire Lucifer to kind of get bored with Earth when she's not around anymore. I guess he just wants to kill off Lucifer, which is kind of more straightforward, and I don't know if I can really... I mean, I guess it would count to God somehow as, breaking his his commandments, I guess, because thou shalt not kill is kind of one of the big ones. And I'm sure he knows that, because otherwise he would just do it himself, but he's not. So I guess he knows it's bad, and he's trying to find some kind of loophole. I just think it's more straightforward than I thought it would be, than I was expecting. Not that I don't like it, I was expecting something different. It will grow on me. I still have the feeling that he might not kill Lucifer. I mean, obviously he cannot kill Lucifer. But either something else happens and Lucifer sort of, gets back his immortality the moment he gets shot, or Chloe intervenes, tries to save Lucifer, and gets shot herself, or something along those lines. So I look forward to seeing what happens, even if it's not quite what I thought would happen. I think it's interesting. It's funny that they're going down this way with Amenadiel so fast, because this is only the first season, right? So if he does go down that route and he becomes a killer, at least, the intellectual mastermind in the crime, if not the shooter himself, if he becomes a killer and he falls, which is what I would expect to happen to him when he kills someone, and obviously he's gone against God's commandments, I would expect him to fall. If he falls, then what are we going to do for season 2? It seems kind of fast to me, but I look forward to it because I like that, that twist that the good angel is actually the one willing to go into evil actions in order to get his way. I think that's very interesting, and if it's all part of God's plan, and maybe he plans for him in a deal to actually take over Lucifer's spot or something, then I hope God tells us soon, because I'm really curious as to where this is going, Overall, I liked the episode, even though the procedural plot was kind of weak. Really weak, really. I mean, they didn't even bother trying to make it, to pretend that it was interesting. But I did like the side of it where Lucifer kind of dealt with all these questions about his own experience with God and people's experience with God. And of course the fact that he and Chloe are now officially friends, I guess. So I enjoy that. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens from here on, because this is really getting interesting. Like the overarching plotline is actually getting really interesting. So yeah, pretty good episode, I thought. I really enjoyed it, and that's about as much as I can say about it, really. As usual, don't forget to visit our website at thegeekypub.com. We have not only reviews for the previous Lucifer episodes, but also for other TV shows, books, movies, games. We have a ton of stuff in there, so be sure to visit and check it out. And also, if you like our reviews, then you might want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that's where they usually go up first. Most of the time, even before they hit the website, they're up on YouTube. So if you don't want to miss anything we upload, then you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that's it from me today. I will see you guys in my next review. Bye!